Did we finally find the right shell for Kappa Cannoneer? That's for you to decide. What's going on, guys? It's Doomwake here, and we are coming back with some more Modern Horizons 3 action. And today, I am bringing you what I believe to be the best Kappa Cannoneer deck that we have found so far. So, Kappa Cannoneer is a card that is introduced to us in Modern Horizons 3. It's actually a Commander reprint from one of the previous Commander sets, and it's an extremely powerful card. It effectively has affinity, although there's this little word, it's called improvise. I think it's French for affinity, but it basically means the same thing, where you can tap artifacts to be able to cast the Kappa Cannoneer, and it effectively has Ward 4. Well, it has Ward 4, which is effectively hexproof, because most of the time, they're not going to be able to pay that 4 mana. And whenever it or another artifact ETBs, you get a counter on it, and it can't be blocked this turn. So it's extremely, it is impossible to block. It's unblockable. It effectively has some sort of, you can't target this. It might as well be hexproof with Ward 4. And it's also an extremely cheap card. And all of those things combined work extremely well, or happen to work extremely well with the Underworld Cookbook, which is a card that is notorious for generating copious amounts of game objects early and often, especially when combined with something like Ovalchase Daredevil. So the concept here was to utilize the Cookbook plus Daredevil plus Asmo engine, pair that with Thought Monitor and Kappa Cannoneer, because both of these cards require you to have a ton of game objects, which Cookbook is very good at doing. And the missing piece, honestly, I think is Blood Fountain. This card is doing a couple of different things. Step one is it's putting 2 artifacts onto the battlefield, getting discounts for Kappa Cannoneer and Thought Monitor, and it also makes a Blood, which is important because Blood is a discard outlet to be able to cast Asmo. So there's all of these interlocking synergies, and then the rest of the deck is some Mishra's Baubles, cheap artifact, also very powerful with Emry because you can start looping Baubles. Bauble also, again, 0-mana artifact for Kappa and Thought Monitor. Couple of Mox Ambers, not a ton because we only have the 8 legends here with Asmo and Emry. This is a card that I could definitely see cutting the second copy of. I think the first one's good as an Urza Saga target, but it's possible you don't need the second one. Speaking of Urza Saga targets, we have a couple of those, Shadow Spear and Lavaspur Boots. One thing I just wanted to mention real quickly about Lavaspur Boots, I've been playing more and more Saga decks with Boots, and it is kind of insane to me how much this card changes the math from just going, previously it was end step make a construct, untap, make a construct, maybe get Shadow Spear, maybe get something else, maybe have a 1 big attack, and that's fine. But with Lavaspur Boots, it really just sort of goes from you're dealing maybe 3 or 4 damage on that one turn with the first construct to now I'm dealing you 10 or 12 damage because I can attack you with both of my constructs on that same turn, which is kind of ridiculous. And then the last card in this deck is Metallic Rebuke, which is just, some interaction. It's good with the cheap artifacts. Not the flashiest card, but, you need some interaction, and it does work well with Baubles and Cookbooks. One thing that I want to note here is just how well this deck is at just generating, like I said, so many artifacts. Like we have the Blood Fountain, which makes 2 objects. Cookbook makes 2 objects. Bauble's super cheap. Emry can effectively be another cheap artifact because you're flashing back Baubles. So this, to me, has felt like the best Kappa Cannoneer deck because of how consistently it can cast it on turn 3, and I think that's the key to unlocking this card. We've played a lot of Affinity decks with Frogmites and Mirror Enforcers, and I don't think those cards pair that well with Kappa Cannoneer. I think you want to lower your curve as much as humanly possible to be able to play Kappas. Also worth noting, there's some cool synergies with Emry where you can say Thought Monitor, have Asmo, have Thought Monitor fight itself. You can cast Thought Monitor from the graveyard with Emry. Some cool stuff you can do there. Or you could just mill over an Emry or a Thought Monitor or a Kappa Cannoneer, cast it that way. Mana base, nothing too crazy. The Urza Sagas, that is one of the best cards in the deck, so I don't think I need to explain that. And then as far as the sideboard is concerned, we're kind of leaning heavy on Nadu hate, so 4 Thoughtseize, 2 Disruptor Flute, and then really leaning heavy on Storm hate with the 4 Damping Spheres and the 2 Flusterstorms. Rounding out the sideboard, we have our Urza Saga tutorable targets, so Lantern for graveyard decks, Needle, pretty versatile, can also be good against Shuko/Nadu, and same thing with Spell Bomb as the Soul Guide Lantern. So that's pretty much it for the deck list. I was a really big fan of this deck. I think this is really showcasing how good Kappa Cannoneer is and can be. And without further ado, I will see you back here in just a little bit for round number 1. This hand looks fine to me, assuming they're not playing an unfair deck. See, the biggest issue with this deck that I see is right now there's a lot of unfair decks, and historically Asmo is not great against the unfair decks because it's very good at just, it's good in those value type games. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, I see. Well, and I thought I was going to get to play my cards this game. Silly me. Sometimes Hunter, but not all the time. Just play first. Yeah, that's true. Simply, that's the thing about Modern. The thing you have to realize in Modern, and I'm going to give you this advice for free. I'm not going to charge you for this. All you have to do is win the die roll. It's really that easy. Write that one down, folks. And I'm still going to turn to Emry. Why didn't it take both Emrys? On-screen celebration. Jellomoose used 40 bits. What does that even do? This was 6 minutes ago. Is that like the large emote thing? What does that even mean? I got a notification that said on-screen celebration. Dothy Voidwalker. Alright, you know what? How about we just, like, move on, you know? Alright, let's not play against Scam again. I am going to keep this. Alright, surely I will not get turn 1 Grief scammed again, right? Yeah, I don't think it impacts clips or VODs. I'm pretty sure. Imagine if... Yeah, I know, right? Imagine if it did affect VODs. Okay, thankfully I've not gotten scammed. This should be a pretty good matchup, right? What? See, that's really awkward of a draw. Because if I want to play Kappa next turn, I have to play the Sewers. So I think I might just play Sewers this turn. Will I? I don't know. I could play another Cookbook if I play Saga. It's kind of a high roll. Maybe I draw an untapped blue source and I just have it all. Playing Sewer seems fine. Yeah, but like, I guess if I don't draw lane, I'm giving up a construct token doing it this way. So it's kind of awkward, right? But this is the high upside line. Well, it's actually not even that high upside, right? Because even if I draw an untapped land, I have to choose between this and this. So yeah, I probably should have played Sewers. I think I'd rather kill the Warden. Yeah, I think Sewers was probably right. Because I can't do both of these. And in that case, I think it's better to just Sewers there. Yeah, this is probably the Spike Cage deck, right? We got some Cage Enjoyers. Ocelot Pride. You can have a token. I'll allow it. I'll allow you to have exactly 1 token. Okay. And we didn't draw the untapped land. I'm just going to kill the Ocelot Bride now. Think I want that? I'm not even sure that I do. For love. Sing it, chat. Piano on a stair. Why are they blocking?
Bruh.
Okay. All right. Well, I know why they're blocking. Piano on the stairs. I did see that peaceful turnip, yeah. Force of... Dude, do you guys remember? What was... When... The real ones remember the Force of Virtue buyout in 2019. The old school Doomwake chatters remember that. I think I still have like 80 copies of this on my account. We don't talk about that anymore though. I like to pretend that did not happen. I think I'd rather play. Nah, all right, just make a token. Because we can do everything next turn. I don't have a land. Well, I kind of wish I had a Springleaf Drum in my deck, huh? Let's all do this. What you got over there? Martyr's Soul? No way. Not the Martyr Soul. All right. Go. Your turn. You own 50 plus Phyrexian scriptures. Surely it's a great way to clear the way for planeswalkers. You could not pay me any amount of money to recite the text of Phyrexian scriptures. I would have absolutely no idea. Opponent says, I cast a 4/3. It's the 4-mana Black Saga. Yeah, that tells me nothing. I'm sure there's a lot of 4-mana Black Sagas. I don't know the text on all of them. 10,000 Shukos. I said any amount of money. Somebody told me that Shuko was $30 the other day. Apparently it's gone up again. Lizard on a chair. All right, I will do this. $30 dues, huh? Oh, I missed the order. Hey, who cares? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Could have made it bigger, Kappa. They're in a lot of life. This one. Dude, cookbook with Kappa goes kind of hard, huh? Kappa, 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 Kappa. All right, I'll attack you for 13 damage. I know, I really did. Can you imagine? Well, here's the problem, though, right? There's two outcomes that would have happened with that JD Phoenix. So I received Nadu, like the preview card Nadu, like a week and a half before I was scheduled to release it. Think of the amount of Shukos that I could have purchased in that time. Now, granted, if I had done that, obviously I would be blacklisted from WotC and I would never get a preview card for the rest of my life. But I'd be rich, so you gotta think of the pros and cons, right? Do you think that if I had done that, like if I had purchased 10,000 Shukos before I revealed it, do you think that I could have made the front page of Deserto? They don't want to play anymore. Really a missed opportunity. And be like, Mom, I'm on the front page! We did it! I don't want a sideboard. I don't know what they're... I don't have any of these cards. Yeah, that's true. The Pinkertons would show up at my house. How would they ever know? I mean, if some dude bought out Shuko, and then it just so happened that person's preview card was broken with Shuko, they probably could put 2 and 2 together, right? But what if I had used a fake name to buy the Shukos, right? How would they know? I guess that's true. I mean, they could look up price history, right? And see like who bought the Shukos. I'm sure they have access to that information. I don't know, maybe not. Well, I didn't do that, so we'll never know, I guess, but... No, you just have to come up with the most basic name possible, like John Smith. And then you look at the TCG report and it's like, John Smith recently bought 20,000 copies of Shuko. That guy knows something. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one. Zombie. Any zombies? Go. Did buy like 10 on stream. Yeah, after I revealed it. See, it's not insider trading if I wait until I reveal it and then buy them, you know? Then I'm just getting in on the hype train. And I only bought 7. It's not like I bought 100. You know what I mean? How much money could you have made? I mean, assuming that I was able, like, okay, if you had a week and a half, how many copies of a single card do you think you could purchase in a week and a half? Like, hypothetically. If you just spent like 10 hours a day trying to purchase these cards. Yeah, it was an uncommon. I think it was like 50 cents. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You could have had 10,000 in your cart, and as part of your reveal, you could have bought them. Yeah, true. Maybe that was the play. 1, 2. All right, let's go. Kappa, 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 Kappa. Trigger. Get back Bauble. I guess I should have cast the Kappa from the graveyard, huh? Probably would have been a little better. I kind of forgot that I milled one over. We'll cast that one next turn. How am I at 14 already? My brother in Christ. We need to find an Asmo quick. I need an Asmo stat. How early on did you realize the combo? No, I didn't realize it at all until somebody in chat pointed it out when I revealed it. Like, I read the card. They sent it to me on, like, they sent it to me, like I said, a week and a half before I revealed it. I read the card. I read it again because I didn't understand it. And then my immediate reaction was like mutagenic growth, gut shot. That kind of like small ball stuff. But I did not think about Shuko until somebody in my chat pointed it out the day that I spoiled it. I had no idea. Right, yeah, like I thought the whole time that it was just some clunky commander card, because I, like most people who read the card, assumed that, see, it's so strange to me that the card says this only triggers twice per turn when it's just lying to you. That's not at all what's going on here. It doesn't, the twice per turn just doesn't exist. So I was like, well, if you can only do this twice per turn, how good is it? And I didn't realize that it was twice per turn for each creature. Which, again, I'm sure a lot of people realized. A lot of people thought the same thing. There's like a reasonable chance they missed Shuko, especially if they thought it was going to be a commander card. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You know what's really awkward? You have to tap food to sack it, so I can't improvise and pop food. That's like really awkward. All right, let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, I guess... Am I dead on board if I attack? Attack for 8. They go send everything. Block here. Take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not quite. I have to just like assume they have nothing. They only have 2 cards. Actually, if I don't block him, I'm still not dead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, I'm not even dead on board. Oh no, I am to this. Yeah. Okay. I guess I didn't need to play a second Kappa this turn to have lethal next turn, because this one's just going to be lethal by itself. That shouldn't matter. I do have the City's Blessing. I'm not sure that matters, though. Oop, challenge started. This game should be over very shortly, so we'll wait on the challenge. All right, I will block your biggest creature. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I go to 3. Right? Did I do my math right? I did. See, I'm good at math sometimes. We have Counterspell up. Not that they can have anything, because we have Kappa anyways. Excuse me. You know what's also really cool about Kappa Cannoneer in this deck? Is you don't ever actually need... With Emry and Cookbook, you don't ever actually need to have another artifact in hand for you to be able to unblockable your Kappas. Like, you just always have an essentially near infinite number of artifacts to just, like, make sure your Kappa always has unblockable. That's a really cool thing about this deck. This hand is doo-doo. And this hand also kind of sucks, but keep it on 6. It costing 5 is not great. Right, it's like, it's a turn 3 play, which maybe that's fine. But it does feel like one of the weakest cards in the deck. Alright, Living and rather Undrawn of Hope at that point. That's the 6 drop, right? 6 mana, 5/5, make 2 Scions, sack a Scion, tap a creature. I did think about that one too. They're 1/1s? Sure, but same thing, right? Spawns, Scions, they're all the same to me. But yeah, it is a little bit better. Oh, they are Scions, you're wrong. So Spawn is 0/1, Scion is 1/1. Checkmate. Checkmate, Atheist. No, it definitely does not have a merge. You're probably thinking of Deep Fiend. I mean, we have to hold up the counterspell, right? Even if they know about it. What's kind of cool about this, so normally, like, before, when Living in had Violent Outburst, you would have to, like, you wouldn't, well, fuck me, I guess, Whatever, I guess it didn't matter. I was gonna say you wouldn't be able to activate the Saga because they would Valiant Outburst in response, but nothing mattered because they had the second grief anyways. Ooh. Good deck. What did we lose to? With this deck, they scammed me on turn one and I just conceded match. Alright, Spellbomb me, Lantern me. Oh, Eldrazi. With Eldrazi in the challenge, I lost to Ruby Storm and the Boros midrange deck. What are we cutting against them? I don't really know. Yeah, but if I'm cutting Blood Fountain, I kind of want to trim on Kappa, which maybe I should be doing anyways. Shave, like, the more expensive stuff. Emry seems kind of whatever, too. Although, I guess, no, because Emry loops Spellbomb against them. Shave an Amber. Maybe I don't need the Shadow Spear? Or I just don't play any monitors. Keep 3 Kappas. Could maybe trim 1 Daredevil, too, if I wanted to keep the 4th Kappa. 4 Kappa's kind of a lot. Guess I could keep 1 of these? Sure. Try that. Sideboarding is so weird with this deck. This hand's too slow. I mean, it has Disruptor Fluid, I guess, but this hand's better. Put back Asmo, because I can't cast it. You just have to cast this on turn 1 because of Grief. Even though it's a little bit worse if they have the stupid Foundation Breaker. They do, but the thing is, you don't really have a lot of good creatures to get back. I guess Kappa specifically. Kappa's one of the few cards that can actually beat a Living End, because they can't block it. So I could certainly see you, like, getting into a spot where you play Blood Fountain, discard Kappa, response to Living End. Kind of just want to resolve Flute this turn, so I can slam it early Kappa. Soul Spike is now $27.
Bruh.
Why? Explain your work. Did somebody break Necrodominance and didn't tell me? Was I unaware of this? Maybe they'll stack the triggers wrong? No, they're too smart. Alright, you... I'm still gonna... Am I gonna play the Flute this turn? Yeah, I just want to use my mana. Alright, Living End. Saw the 8-lane Necro deck. I did see that deck, yeah. What's been one of my favorite MH3 brews other than Nadu? Definitely Eldrazi. I think we put a lot of work into the Eldrazi deck, and I like the spot where it's at right now. Big fan of it. Alright. Here goes my Kappa Cannoneer. Is Void Pouncer maybe a better Reality Smasher? No. Well, I guess the fact that... Well, see, I guess my issue with Void Pouncer is it's a 2-drop that you can't cast off of your soul lands because it requires red mana. So, probably not good enough. Like, I want every 2-drop that I play to be able to be cast off of my soul lands. So, like, at that point, I'd rather play either It That Heralds the End or the Battle Mage. Because I hold the land in hand in case I draw Asmo. I think I forgot to pay the Giganta tax in this one, right? Cycle Striped Riverwinder in response to your Thoughtseize. Alright, well. Am I going to lose to Hardcast Generous Sense this game? I doubt it. Something tells me that that's not what's going to happen. Because they're probably going to cycle both. Alright, they did not cycle both. Surely I'll find a threat at some point. Eventually we will find something that attacks our opponent. Although, to be fair, we don't have a lot of those. That one's good because it gets back Kappa. Alright, go. Dude, Emry getting back Kappa is really nice. I guess if we do that, we can't hold up Counterspell. I kind of hope they go for it this turn. Yeah, this is perfect. Because I want to be able to counter the Living End and then slam the Kappa Cannoneer next turn. Wait, are they dead? No. 4... What if I let this resolve? It's kind of insane, right? Is it though? We have an Asmo and a Kappa. I'll counter it. I'll counter it. I think there is some consideration to letting it resolve because we have both of these in the graveyard. Was Fanatic of Ronus a stake? I didn't know that. Why are they playing Fanatic of Ronus? Oh, okay, well. If you told me they were going to concede, then yeah, I would have cast it, but... Why are they playing Fanatic of Ronus and Ophiomancer in the same deck? Oh, limited. Okay, I thought we were talking about modern for a second. I was confused. It's in worse hands. Put back Bauble, I guess. Guess who's back, chat? Asmo's back. Tell a friend. Asmo's back. All right, never left. What you got over there, Icy? How icy are you? I guess I take this. I don't know. Doesn't really matter what I take, right? Because they can still force pitch this and cycle Wraith. Okay, well, that sucks because now they take Cookbook. It's pretty bad. That is not the card that I wanted them to draw, as a matter of fact. As it turns out, that is what we call worst possible. Without me, we can't Thoughtseize ourselves. Thoughtseize yourself now. Yeah, it's not great. Not where I want to be. But, I mean, what else are we doing, right? You ever just Thoughtseize yourself? They get to see what we drew, too. Awkward. I know, we revealed the counterspell. 2 for nothing. Hey, I'm getting a cookbook out of this, alright? I'm up a card. This is the plays that you subscribe for. Thoughtseize myself. Architects cycled. I just wanted them to know that I drew the counterspell. Just cast Shardless and put me out of my misery already. Okay, hold. Give me a land, please. Give me a land, please. Well, surely they won't draw a Cascade spell next turn, right? What are they thinking about? Okay. Alright, you got me. I will attack you for 3 damage. Please don't draw a Cascade spell. I would greatly appreciate that. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. They had perfect information. I'm curious as to why they would do that. I mean, I guess it didn't matter. They knew I was resolving an artifact that turn. But I guess they chose to force the Shadow Spear over the cookbook. Maybe they figured that it races them faster. Like I can equip here and have a 3-turn clock versus a 4-turn clock. So I guess that kind of makes sense. But now we just get to hold up counterspell. I guess it was probably better to hold the Delta. Well, no, because I can get a Surveil land, right? I think Surveil land's more important than holding Delta for the cookbook. But it's close. Graveyard. Nope, that one I'm going to hold. Deck. This race is getting close. Because the issue is now if they draw an untapped land, they can pay for Rebuke. Okay, that's not a land. Chad, are you blue? Alright, so now we have to hope they draw a fetch land? I really hope they draw a fetch land. Tisk tisk. That is not sufficient. Not sufficient. Then we can kill the Shardless. Well, it's weird though, because if there was ever a turn where I equipped the Shadow Spear, I wouldn't have had enough mana to hold up the Rebuke, right? It is pretty funny that we won this game after Thoughtseizing ourselves. It's pretty good. Just how we drew it up, right? Just how we drew it up. That's a lot of blood fountains. Let's keep this. Fountain is good with the monitor. Yeah, Nadu is all my fault. Oh, look, more Nadu. Sick. Sick. One, two, three, four, five. I guess if I had kept the Bauble, I could have played. Oh, I didn't have the Kappa in my hand, obviously. One, two, three, four, five. So we can't do anything this turn. Can blame me for this? No. You're only allowed to blame me if you subscribe to Twitch Prime. Then you can blame me. That's how that works. But it'll cost you. Wall of Roots. Truco. 1-4 wall coming in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Man, this sucks. Because I can't even have enough food to be able to kill a Nadu if they have it. Because I can go cookbook, discard, cast Asmo, but I only have one food. So I think my best play is cookbook, monitor, try to spike a blue source to play Kappa. I have to get really lucky here. Oh, right, I have to do this first. I knew that I had enough artifacts, but I have to do this first. I mean, what if I just played Kappa instead of playing monitor? No, let's go for high upside. All right, give me an untapped blue source, please. Okay, untapped blue source secured. I mean, it's not gonna matter because we're just gonna die anyways. But this is cool. Look at all my cool cards. Anyways, you're dead. Nice deck, idiot. You know. I mean, I know they have it. I know they always have it. They never don't have it. Okay, needle, flute. Rebuke doesn't even work because they have halfling, right? I think I'm just gonna cut these. Well, I mean they're good if they don't have halfling, right? They counter other stuff too. Could shave like 2 of these. Another amber. Maybe I want Thoughtseize. Let's try Thoughtseize over Rebuke, maybe. I could buy that. I think the issue that I have with it is it's nearly impossible to trade 1-for-1 for a Nadu. Like, that's the problem. Is like, the answer is, oh, well, you can just kill it. Yeah, but if you kill it, they're still drawing a card off of that. So it's like, that's not even a good... I mean, you have to kill it, obviously, but it's not like you're ever in a favorable exchange when you're killing it. And I think that's the big issue that I have. I mean, their hand kind of sucks. Take Endurance because I have an Emry on top. And go. Apparently it's even good in Legacy. I would imagine so. I could see it being good Legacy. Deck is super dependent on Nadu, though. Without the card, the deck is kind of trash. Sure, yeah, I guess maybe Surgical, too. And there is some ways to do it, like Flare of Malice. If you sack a creature, Flare of Malice is almost always going to get the Nadu, because they don't play cards that cost more than 3. So Malice is good. Like, there are ways to fight it, but I think the deck is extremely consistent and very, very resilient. So, and that's, a hallmark for a good combo deck. It is an extremely good combo deck. Those are that is how I would describe the situation at hand. Can't really utilize that one that well. So we'll do this. Graveyard, cast this, do this. No, I boarded out the rebukes, right? So we can just do this. Excuse me. Sorry. Cannister almost lost a match to Martyr in his run when they Stonebraid his Nadu on turn 3 in 2 games. Oh, he still won through a Stonebraid? That's pretty funny. Eldrazi should play Brains in the sideboard. I mean, I feel like Fast Clock plus single removal spell, you know? Like, the combination of extremely fast clock plus either Dismember or Null Elemental Blast, I don't even think the matchup is that bad for Eldrazi. I think that we ran kind of not great in a couple of those games. 1, 2, 3, 4. But I don't think the matchup should be that bad. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's go 5. I guess I could have targeted the fountain, but I kind of want to draw a card. Do this, draw. Those are not great. Do this. Chord of Calling. Discard Daredevil. Oh, that's a food, not a blood. Never mind. I thought that was a food. Or I thought it was a blood, rather. Sorry. Murktide should theoretically have a good Nadu matchup if properly teched. Yeah, I guess the problem is the counterspells aren't good enough because they have Halfling, right? I think that's the biggest issue, is that your counterspells are not good most of the time because of Halfling. The remedy we need is the ban of Shuko and Encore. I don't know. I think it's too early to talk about bans. I think it's a little too early to get hasty on bans. The deck is good, but I don't know. It's also just the new hot thing, so everybody wants to play it, you know? But give it time. I mean, I feel like people can and will adjust. Thank you very much for the 18-month resub, Duncan. There's so many walls. Bro, I'm walling out right now. I'm walling out, bro. Alright, this. Bauble. Nope, not that one. This one. I would like to see the card that you are drawing for your turn. Well, discard this. Go here. Equip here. I think it's time for beatdowns. A little beatdown action. I attack you for 3. I'm also kind of interested to see, like, the Nadu value piles that don't involve Shuko. Because you are correct. Shuko is the card that just kind of makes it go over the top. And I feel like Nadu as intended, like the card was designed to be a value card. I'm going to be honest with you. I think they just kind of didn't realize the Shuko interaction. And I think that we could maybe come up with some cool Nadu value decks without Shuko. But Shuko does kind of make it a little over the top. Yeah, surely that them printing another card that costs colorless blue-green, there are no problems there. Nothing could ever possibly go wrong, right? Right? They need to just stop printing cards that cost blue-green C, because they seem to not be able to get it right ever. Alright, I guess we keep this. It's not great, but if it was once per turn per creature, would it even stop the combo? You mean once per turn per creature? No, but it should just be twice per turn, period, you know? Not twice per turn for every single creature. That's how it should be designed, or the lands come into play tap. There's a bunch of different ways you can fix the card, but just the combination of everything is just, it's a lot, you know? It's a lot. Alright, Rebuke down. I repeat, the Rebuke is down. I guess I'll do this. I don't know how much I care about the Amber. They have a second Thoughtseize. Alright, Sagami. Sagami dealer. The new colorless blue-green card. Oko Nadu, Titan of Nature's Wrath. If you cast it, you just win the tournament you are in. There's no restrictions? Does that only happen twice per tournament? Or it's twice per round per tournament, right? I think. We'll slap that on it. Surely that'll fix it. Twice per tournament per card in your library. Yeah. Problem right now. Ooh, that's kind of rude. The problem right now is that the people interested in winning are having an easier time playing Nadu and taking hard on how to beat it. That is correct. Yeah, that is true. Like, cause a lot of people when you have like these first kind of tournaments from MH2 and MH3, a lot of people just kind of want to play the deck that won the last challenge. It's a lot of just copy pasting, and people aren't necessarily trying their own stuff. Now, there's some exceptions to that, but yeah, a lot of people who want to win they're just like, yeah, I'm just gonna copy what won the last challenge, and that's sort of what's happening. And I think that's why a lot like it is being more represented than maybe it should be because of that. No, I think I'm gonna. Well, what time is it? It's 3. Yeah, I'm probably just gonna stream tonight. Ooh. Okay, let's do this. Do I have enough mana to do what I want to do is the question. I think the answer is no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Am I one short? Damn. Right. Tap this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, in that case, I guess we get back Blood Fountain. Oh, we can do something really cool. We can go Blood Fountain, discard Daredevil, cast Asmo. Should have attacked first. I guess I'm missing a point of damage this way. Okay. I have been fatally pushed. It's a good spot to be in, though, because then we just have Emry plus Kappa. Problem is that Lightning Greaves does the same thing. Well, the thing about Lightning Greaves compared to Shuko is, 1, you can't fetch it off Urza Saga, and 2, it's a lot worse if you just have an empty, like, Nadu and nothing else, because you can't, if let's just say you have Nadu and nothing else, if you Greaves onto the Nadu, then you can't re-equip it in the same way that you can with Shuko. So it's worse when you have, like, a much lower base, or lower resources. So it's worse in a low resource game, and you can't fetch it off Saga. But I think that's part of why Shuko is the best. The Shuko is so sick because you can get it off Saga. It doesn't, like, you don't have to try to put Shuko in your deck. You just play 4 Saga, play 1 Shuko, and you're good. Yeah, I guess I see what you're saying. Is that people will still find a way to put it into their deck. Like, people will find a way to set up the combo. If they only have access to Greaves, then people will still play that stuff. I agree with that, yes. But, like, are you okay with that? Is the deck more reasonable if it's Shuko versus Greaves? I don't know, maybe it is. Here. Get back this. Discard this. We have 6 artifacts. Now we have 7. Draw 2. Give me a Kappa. Ooh. I guess I can't Kappa and Saga token. What's better? It's probably... Oh, wait, no, I can haste the Kappa. Yeah, that's pretty good, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think hasting the Kappa's pretty good. It does mean we lose out on 1 token, but we can still next turn make the other token and then haste the new token. I mean, they're just dead, right? They just have no chance. I only got 7 of them, Patrick, but yes, my Shukos did come in the mail. I didn't buy too many. Kind of wish I had bought more. But before they tank. It's absurd to me. That card is $30. 30. That's so many dollars. All right, Grief Scam, Black-White Scam. I'm not sure that I want any of these cards. I guess maybe the graveyard stuff is good. But we probably don't have to do a lot in this matchup. I'm just going to run it back. I mean, 2 Sagas against Grief is pretty good. Although, I guess the White Orchid Phantom does kind of change the dynamic of this matchup. Before, I think that these decks were heavily favored against Grief Scam. But now that they have White Orchid Phantom, I guess that maybe does change the dynamic a little bit. Because they can just cleanly answer Saga. 07s for the Cephalid Breakfast players that did not purchase their Shukos before Nadu was released. They're never going to get to play that deck again. All right, I pass. Rebuke. Rebuke. Trying to flute me? What if I don't want to be fluted? How much is Shuko on Moto? Can't be that much, right? Let's take a look. Let's go to the bots that are goats. Shuko. Oh, wow, they did go up a lot. Dude, they're like 13 tickets? Jesus Christ. Oh my goodness. 13? So much. They have. Failure. 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 Yeah, we've been griefed. Don't love getting griefed here, but I mean, we have 2 sagas, so it still might be fine. Yeah, the dog can kill tokens, but I can just make a token after they trigger the dog. Like, if they go attack, blink, grief, then I can go make token block after they resolve the trigger. Okay, so they don't attack, which makes sense. I mean, I still have to make a token. I lose nothing by making a token here. That is an interesting draw step. So... It's kind of weird, though. Because if I cast the Kappa Cannoneer, they get to just... Oh, no, because if they attack with Felia and flicker a token, I can just block with Kappa, because this will be untapped. So I guess the question is, do we want Boots or Shadow Spear? I almost think... Well, Boots is worse if I'm playing the Delta this turn, so let's get Shadow Spear. And then we go Delta... Crack this for a basic cast Kappa Cannoneer. This is kind of nice. I gotta say that I've been liking this deck a lot. I think we finally found the best shelf for Kappa Cannoneer. This is kind of weird to say, but it feels like this is a more consistent Kappa deck than traditional Affinity, because you don't have those like Mirror Enforcers and Frogmites and Frogmere Enforcers clogging up your hand. You just have, cookbooks and blood fountains. It's not as like aggressive and powerful, but I think that this is a better Kappa Cannoneer deck than the Affinity decks that we played. Yeah, Blood Fountain's been really good. Blood Fountain sort of acts like a Dark Ritual in this deck, where it discounts Kappa Cannoneer, Thought Monitor, and Emry, so it's this like weird ramp spell. Yeah, it's like a ramp spell that also casts Asmo. The one awkward tension that I found is that you can't both with blood and food tokens, you can't tap them and sack them. So it's like sometimes that comes up, but it doesn't come up too often. Okay, so we go here. Trigger. They know about the saga, so we'll play it. And then I think we just go here. Send everything. Do you think Marionette Apprentice would fit here? It's really only good with Asmo. It is kind of interesting with Asmo. I think Apprentice is a lot better in the black-white deck we played yesterday. That was kind of a little bit deeper on the game objects, where that deck was playing Ocelot Pride and Academy Manufactor to generate a lot more tokens. So I think it's better in that shell. Maybe not as good in this one, but it does have potential. Why are they chump blocking at 19? All right, equip here. Pass. I guess I should upkeep Bauble them. What's she drawing over there? What is on top of your deck? All right, you have a land. Seems like not what you want. So they can blink the token, but, I mean, they just can't ever kill this. Good doggo. What a good dog. And they're at 13. So this is 9. So it's not lethal, so I won't make the token now. I don't even think they have outs, right? Because even if they draw a removal spell that somehow kills this, I guess it specifically has to be Flare of Malice. Yeah, Flare of Malice would do it, but... Alright, cool. So, 3 and 2. We lost a Scam and Nadu. Scam and Nadu, okay. Interesting list. I was a pretty big fan of, like, Kappa Cannoneer getting discounted by Blood Fountain. That was a pretty sick interaction, because, again, as we talked about, Blood Fountain is just kind of this weird dark ritual that casts both Kappa Cannoneer, Thought Monitor, and Emry, but also is a discard outlet for Asmo. The Metallic Rebukes, I could take or leave those. I'm also not sure if you need the second Mox Amber, and potentially could main deck more interaction, either Thoughtseize or Fatal Push. But I think Kappa Cannoneer in an Asmo shell makes a lot of sense because this deck was, you know, a little bit maybe anemic when it comes to closing out games before, and now we have a much better threat that kills relatively quickly, especially when combined with Emry. So if you're watching us on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment, and YouTube, we'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.